Hey y'all, Nick here. I wanted to go through this March 6th through March 12th week with you guys. I think it's pretty self-explanatory, and I don't anticipate that it will be a hard for you to understand what we're going to be doing this week. But I want to make the video just so you feel really good about it. First and foremost, in class, I'm going to share a bit from my memoir. I've printed that, and if you're an online student or if you're gone for spring break already and if you want to read a bit of my memoir, I'm just going to have you email me, reach out to me. It's not something I'm like forcing anyone to read. Um, and I'm only sharing the first 3 pages of it so that people can get a little bit more of a taste of why I care about this type of writing so much. So please feel free to email me if you have an interest. You don't have to. What we're going to be going for in this class is not a full-length memoir like I wrote, but um, a very short personal narrative. So to have you do that, I have a link here on Moodle, personal narrative list, that has 10 personal narrative examples, and I want you to pick one of them. They have links within them, right? And you're going to pick one of them that you think you can model your personal narrative off of. There's 10 here, and you might just want to read the little blurb about each one before you pick it so that you can kind of find one that connects with you. So there's Only Disconnect by Gary Steingart. This is about cell phone addictions in the early 2010 era, which is kind of a funny concept. It was right when phones were getting to be smarter and smarter. Why I Hate Mother's Day by Anne Lamott. The Crane Wife by C.J. Hauser. This is actually the one that I was thinking I'd make everybody read. This is just an exceptional memoir-esque personal narrative. It's really, really well done. It's about a gal who, right after breaking off her engagement, she decides to go on a whooping crane observation adventure rather than honeymoon, I guess. And she is reflecting through the swamps of this area in Texas that she's in, Corpus Christi. She's reflecting on her relationship that she cut off, and at the same time looking at this new interest of like cranes and observation and birding, and all of a sudden like this task that seemed really, really boring to her is just so exciting. And she's starting to realize in a way that for so long she wasn't herself in her relationship. And she enjoys these things. And so anyway, it's a really, really great personal narrative that if you can't think of anyone else to read this one. It's super good. The Trash Heap Has Spoken. Yeah, this is a really interesting personal narrative about a gal who is a self-described fuller figured gal, and is comparing herself to the 80s and 90s models that are notorious for this insanely small body that is often augmented through unnatural means, and she's comparing herself to that. So this is a body image personal narrative, and I think it's really powerful. This one's a great media literacy kind of thing where you discuss like the way that news is created and images are created. Next, Am I Disabled? This is by an author who has autism, and she's beginning to realize she has autism, and she is not in her own mind disabled, but society has a label for what her condition is, and it's a disability called autism. And so she's sort of running through what it means to be disabled and her comfort level with that label. So yeah, very philosophical, very good. Living Like Weasels. I actually have not read this one. Annie Dillard is a great writer that I really enjoy. I've read a lot of Annie Dillard, but I've never read this Living Like Weasels. It seems very meta. It's the weasel, as Dillard sees it, is a wild creature with jaws. So, like, through the mind of a weasel kind of personal narrative. I don't quite get that. I don't know. Love in Our 70s. This is an aging woman who's looking at, it's very short, looking at how the romance in her life has changed as a 75-year-old and her marriage, and as she's kind of ruminating on her life, and it's kind of beautiful. It's very poetic. What a Black Woman Wishes Her Adoptive White Parents Knew. This is I think that the title kind of explains this one. Mariama Lockington is reflecting on what it was like to be a Black adopted child who was adopted into a family that it kind of viewed adopting her as this trendy thing for a white person to do. So it's a very interesting narrative piece about being part of a family and what family means, but also what race means and what belonging means. So it's really good. I haven't finished it because I'm trying to read through all of these and it's lower on the list, but it was what I did read was really good. Very emotional, very riveted, I guess was what I'd say. So definitely an interesting one to check out. Drinking Chai to Savannah. This is kind of an adventure narrative that as this character, Anjali Enjeti, is looking, she's going through a Savannah trip and she's being reminded of the specific incidents she had when she was younger. So it's a reflection piece, really. Again, it's kind of like that one with the crane where she's on an adventure and she's doing something that's very self-fulfilling, but she's looking back at a different time in her life. So Siri Tells a Joke. This is another phone one. This is another personal narrative about,
I don't get along with car keys. They're always starting something.
My phone, because I said Siri tells a joke, my phone literally just heard me and told me a joke. That was just really crazy. That's literally what the premise of this memoir is. Whoa, that was super weird, you guys. I'm like calm, cool, collected until that moment. I said the title and my phone told me a joke. Which, anyway, that's kind of the premise. This author says, Siri, tell me a joke. It's going to do it again. Nope, it didn't. And then the joke reminds her of this moment where she was a memory of her husband. So this is more of a grief one, though. This is not necessarily like a finding oneself. This is very grief filled. So yeah, it's really, this one's probably the saddest by far. So those are kind of our 10 to pick from. I want you to pick one, and then after you pick it, you're gonna just answer some questions here on the discussion forum on Moodle. Right? There's 4 questions. Was the personal narrative a unique, one of a kind, legendary narrative, or a common experience meant to connect with people? What did you like about it? What skills did the writer use? And what do you think you want to write yours about? Those are the 4 questions. I don't have really a word count for this, but I want you to do your best to be thorough. And that's your assignment for this week. Any questions, you guys? Let me know. Okay? All right. See ya.